Hello everyone, welcome to the session of CodersTrust. Today's topic is about PHP. Hopefully you are ready to get started today's session. I'm Tariq Mahmoud with you for conducting today's session. Well, before starting, I just want to ensure that you are watching my screen properly and hearing my voice also without any problem. And I'm checking your comment also. And if you have any question or any problem regarding the session, you can ask. Well, one settings you should set properly because most of the newcomers this does the mistake every day because as I know that you can see the screen blurry and cannot understand my code. So for that, just I want to ensure that you set your screen resolution properly. So to do the settings, just click on the settings icon. You can see here on the video and in the select quality option and select 360 or 480 or 720, whatever, but not less than 360 because 240 or 144 actually are very low resolution. In that case, actually, you will not see my screen properly. So hopefully you will take it 360, 480 or 720. But minimum should be 360p. So hopefully you will set this properly. And I'll go for the main session that's about the PHP. So PHP actually very popular at the moment in the web development area because many CMS is now based on PHP language. Well, before starting this PHP, I will show something about the web application. So hopefully you'll enjoy the session with me here. And if you have any question or any problem, you can just comment here in the comment box. If you are logged in with your Gmail account, you can easily comment here. So I'll check your comment in the regular interval. Also checking now, just before starting the session. Okay, fine. No comments so far. So I hope everything is going fine here. Well, so first one, to begin with, what is a web application? We know about the website, but there is a difference between the web application and a website actually. Uh, when a web application, we can say there's an application program that is stored on a remote server and delivered over the internet through a browser interface. Well, we know the mobile application, and so we can see our mobile application in our mobile devices in the screen, which is stored in our mobile. But web application is different because it is stored in a remote server. Remote server can be stayed anywhere in the world, and it is delivered to your browser. That if you are user, then if your browser actually has UI or guide, you can say there's graphical user interface. Hopefully you can see the screen here, this one. So you can just get idea about the flow of the web application. This is the browser, that means GUI or graphical user interface, and this is the web server, and this is a database. That means the database actually light in the web server, and in the web server the data is stored in the database and some business logic applied, which is actually done by the PHP. And PHP get the data from the database, which can be MySQL, MS SQL, Postgre, and there after getting the logical application and the browser get data from the server. So this is the basic flow of a web application. And the difference between the website and a web application is, and then a website basically we can treat as a static data. That means we just put some informational data which don't need to be saved in a database. It can be just saved in the file. That means the information can be saved just in the HTML or PHP files, and there is no logical some business logics with PHP. But for web application, there are some complex logic can be applied. For example, if you use our Facebook, we have to log in to the Facebook account. So the login actually check the username and password match it. If the password is matched, then we can access the Facebook our profile. Otherwise, it shows error, and we can see our friend list. Everything actually based on some logical data, and also the safe stored data already. So everything done with the PHP help in the MySQL or any other database system. So this is the web application. And now for this business logic, then PHP is very popular now. And what PHP stands for? The interesting thing is the PHP is a recursive acronym. The recursive means it is actually code itself again. For example, uh, PHP, that means uh, this is called PHP hypertext preprocessor. That means again P for PHP and H for hypertext and P for preprocessor. That means PHP, and this first P stands for another PHP, and you called what is again this PHP, and you can say that this P actually again stands for another PHP. So it is actually recursion, we can say. So we don't need to go such depth in this PHP acronym. This just simple as a PHP hypertext preprocessor. That is enough for us to know. Well, it is widely used in open source general purpose scripting language, which is especially for the web development. And another thing is this can be embedded in the HTML. That means we can write PHP and HTML code together in the same file. But you have to write the PHP code in the .php extension file, not .html extension files. But you can write the HTML code in the .php extension files. So that means HTML code can be written in the PHP files, but PHP code cannot be written in the HTML files. So it is important to remember. Well, let me check if I later join some others. Okay, no comments. So hopefully, doing back everything. So what PHP can do actually? Yeah, it can be anything. Yeah, but you don't think that's anything means anything in the world. Anything means the web application or related to the web application, web development. A lot of things like collecting data from the user, generating some dynamic pages, content, send data to the server, receive data, and some complex logic application, mathematical application. So many things actually PHP can do. Well, to run PHP, we need to set up a server, because if you don't have any remote server actually, for example, just for local environment or for practice or for any other project, we don't need to actually run in the remote server. We can just use our local server. So there are two options. There are many other options. Just for now, I'm just introducing these two. This is a XAMPP, or you can say XAMPP, and this is a WAMP. So you can use any one, which is actually a combination of Apache Server, MySQL database, PHP, or Perl. We use the PHP, and you can download the XAMPP for Windows or whatever your OS is. You can download from here, or Linux or Wex. So Mac for you can also download here. So you can just download your preferred version as depending on your system and other things here. And for WAMP, you can also download from the WAMP server. It's simple, yes. For this session, I will actually use the XAMPP. So for XAMPP, after installing, you have to make it start this Apache and MySQL. I already have started. Just you have to click the start button. So you can see that then this running. So this icon is different. So Apache and MySQL is enough. Just start those. And after starting, you have to keep your file in the folder, which is actually you will say that stdocs in the folder. That means the folder of this uh, Xampp, and in the Xampp folder you can also make another folder for your project. If you can have many projects, so you can just make a folder for your new project. And I just created a file with PHP, and this is the PHP file, and that's it. If you name it with the index.php, then you can just access it like this one. City is blank because I didn't do anything here yet. So just for index.php, it will get directly. But if you have another name like login.php, so you have to type like login.php or something, whatever the file's name is, you have to type it here. But for index.php, it will get directly like that. So if your default page should be actually index.php. Okay, so I hope you can install it properly who are using the PHP for the first time. Well, let's introduce about the PHP syntax, basic PHP syntax. The first one is actually this the start of the PHP code, and this the end tag we can say, and there's echo actually for showing something the screen. So let's start with that. Okay, so I already started the PHP, and I can write something like echo welcome to CodersTrust. Okay, so this is the echo. That means just I am echoing something here, and you can say welcome to CodersTrust. Well, another thing you have to remember that when you are using just only purely PHP, you don't need to add the end tag. That means this tag doesn't need it. But if you are using HTML code and PHP code together, in that case, you have to remember to close the PHP end tag also. Okay, so this about the basic structure. Just PHP start tag and do something here. Many things you can do here, and tag is in the HTML code, or if it is purely PHP, then you don't need to actually this end tag. For example, I didn't use this one because I don't have any HTML here. And for output, there we can use another thing, print die. So we can use like print here. This is something like print, and you can see here. So you can see this is something like print, but it is lecture. So we can actually use some break line. Oh, sorry, I got this. And actually, the new line, which I should on the HTML code actually. So it's not working here. Okay, let's do some HTML. And to the next HTML, I will do something like just simple title PHP. Nothing more. Just head text I can use. And within body, I can use my other PHP stuff here. So this code trust can be here, and I'm also using PHP and HTML together. So I use the end tag of the PHP, and this is the one, and I can just cut it from here. And also you can use here like, well, I can use the different p, because the p is better spelling. I just don't want to use some line like here. Oh, I need to do print again because I copied the p only. So just print something with print. Is entered. Okay. Well, so this is the another p and it's another p, and we wrote something with the HTML and PHP together. And the last one is actually the die. This is something that's that. So that's how it's work. That here now. Oh, not that it should be die actually. I'll write the that. Yeah. So the first one with echo, the second one is print, and the last one is die. So, but there's a difference with the die with the others. After die, actually the code ends here. That means the PHP code will not proceed anymore. For example, I am just copy here, just copying this and print after die. So see whatever will it work or not. Yes, it is not working because the code, the PHP code is actually die already dead here. After that, it will not work more. So this will not execute actually. So this is the difference. Die actually, it is not recommended to use the die because die is basically used for the debugging purpose. Because if you want to fix out something actually where the exact problem in your code section, in that case actually die used. Basically die isn't used in other cases because it will make your code ends at this moment and it will not proceed further. So these three output function are basically, and now I will go for the very important things of the variables, which are, well, before proceeding, I'm just checking if you have any questions or comment. Okay, no comment. Hopefully, everything will fine. So I'm just removing those stuff now. I don't need the small. I can do just here. Well, it's a variable. So variable is about can say something on it. Let's start with the dollar sign, and it is basically storing something data, some data which can be string number for temporary or for the runtime of the program. That means when until the script is run, actually it's variable. The PHP variable stores some value because we are just showing something equal something, but we want to keep the value in somehow in the program so that we can use actually uh, hold the program in any time. So for this purpose variable is used and it is started with the dollar sign, and the value of the recent value is the most recent assignment. We'll see actually how assignment work. uh, in brief, assignment means actually assigning some value to the variable, and variable assign is use the operator is equal operator. You can use to equal operator to assign some value, and the left side actually is the variable and the right side would be the value, which value actually will be assigned to the variable. And variable can but don't need to be declared before assignment. That means within the assignment actually it can be declared itself, or you can declare separately, but it is not required. And another important thing is PHP does a good job for automatically converting types. For example, if you just a variable use for the number, later you can use it for the a string or any other text. So it is the PHP will do automatically convert this one. And we can set some data types. Already set integer, that means it's integer like a complete number, and float or doubles, it can be like 3 point or something 1419. This and booleans, it is just true value is either true or false. These two values actually contain the boolean. It is basically used for the logical purpose. And null, it is just one value. Null, we can say it is the void or nothing. Null, and it is just one value. And the string is like we said already, this text, a set of characters. It is the strings. And there is something about the constant. If you don't want something just variable actually will vary in the whole program, because the value will be evaluated with some mathematical operation or changed, I mean with many other operations. But the constant actually will be constant around the whole program. For example, we just want to year 2016 for the entire program, so we can define here. So let's see some example with variable. So let's say we can like welcome a variable, and we can use like welcome to first, and we can echo this welcome. Okay. Ah, there's a problem. Let me check here. Oh, this not echo. This each this another PHP word. Okay. So welcome to the coders. You just copy it here from here, and we can use like number, like this is the year. You can say 2016. Oh, so you can actually concatenate these two here. So now we'll see. So welcome to coders in 2016. So this 16 actually came from the year variable, and this welcome came from this one. And we also can use this string, just we added. This is called concatenation. That means adding two or more string together as a value, just a variable we can use there. And also we can use constant. I have already said about the constant. So for constant, we can use like that year 2016. For using constant, we don't need to use the dollar sign because it is not variable. It's just the name. It's like that here. Okay, there's a problem because I think there's something wrong with the year. Okay, let me check in the later. This may be problem here is certification of double and single. Okay. The problem. Oh, being some wrong with the semicolon. So this is exactly the problem. Okay, let's forget it. There is maybe problem with the keyword some. Well, so what about I was saying that this can be constant. You can use the constant with defined year, and also you can use the conditional operators, which is important, and also with the arithmetic operator also. And there is comparison operator. For the conditional operator, we'll just use something like that. I got the problem. Yeah. So the problem is here actually I declared it, but it didn't complete the semicolon. So without semicolon, actually it will not work because the statement is ended by the semicolon. So each statement is ended by the semicolon. So if you don't use the semicolon, actually it's not completed. So it will not work for the later. So what I just use this the year. Year is now the constant, and I equal this constant. You can say there is no dollar sign. That means like that. I just use the name, so it is constant. So every year we use this year, we will get the value, and this value 2016 it will not be changed because it is defined as constant here. But this value can be changed here. For example, this year 2016, and later we can change this variable like 16. We can assign again 17. Okay, and enter the value. So you can say first time it is a welcome to CodersTrust in 2016, and later it is became 17 because we changed the value. That means we assign the new value to the year. But for the this year, actually it will always constant. So this is the difference between the variable and constant. Well, now we'll go for the conditional statements. What is the conditional statement? So I just removing those stuff and conditional state. Like if there will be some condition, if the condition is true, and we'll work that. So for example, we can take a variable like here, 2016, and if you're comparing this equality, this comparison equality double equal. That means if it is year equal to 2016 equal yes, and else just I want to show no. So equal no. It's yes because it is 16. So if you make it 17, it's no because it is not untrue. So when the condition is true, it will work the first one, the first segment. If it is not the true, then it will the work the another one. This means else it will work here. So this is a comparison. So this is called the comparison operators, and we can say here there are some other operator comparison for double equal, not equal. Just this is the opposite of the equal. That means if it is not true, and it is the greater than, it can less than, it can be greater than or equal, or less than or equal. So you can apply many condition here just based on the value. And there are other thing is logical operation operators like this the and this the ampersand it's called. For example, we just want to make two condition together, like want to make it is and here is greater than 2000. Yeah, so it will work when both are satisfied. That means if it is 2016 and it is greater than 2000, then it will work. But if we make it like it's less than 2016, so let's see whether it will work or not. Yes, it is not working. No, because though it is true, that means it is sorry, it is 16. Let me check it now. Yeah, it's still no. So if it is 16, so it is working. It is true, but it is not true because it is not less than 2000. So it is false. So we need to make it true also, and it is working because now it is less than 3000. It is also true. And also you can use the another one, which is the or. That means if you use the or, and if another is true, then it will work whether it is or it is. So if you use the 2000 now, it is working because though it is not true, that means it is not less than 2000, but it is true. So it is working. That means one of them is true, then it will work. It is called and the other is not. It is just if it is not, that means it is the opposite of the true. This it is not false. And there is some operator, the assignment operator. Already we have used this assignment. That means this is the assignment operator. And also you can use some other operators like equal, plus equal. That means, for example, just we want to do something. Okay, let me do your plus okay, your equal your plus 1. So it will just what will it will do here. So it will just show the 2017, but we can make it like that, not this one. Just we can use this plus one. It is the same as the this one. That means we just want to add 1 to the year variable. So year plus equal 1, and we can also use the minus. That means we want to subtract one value from this one, and also you can use the multiple and also even the divide. So all arithmetic operator can be used here for the with the assignment. And for the comparison we have already used, and for arithmetics it is simple, just plus minus like that. We have already used, and there's another thing which is increment and decrement. That means increment means actually it increases the value by 1, and decrement means it decreases the value by 1, and it is actually same as the plus 1 or minus 1 actually. So this about the PHP, and finally, I just want to discuss about the some advantages of PHP, because why actually PHP will use, because the PHP basically now worldwide, and mostly more than 50% website is based on the PHP, because many popular CMS like WordPress, Joomla, Magento are already built with the PHP. So you can say that the power of this CMS is very high. So for their purposes, PHP, and there's many frameworks of the PHP like Laravel, CodeIgnit, or Gent. Those are more popular at this moment. So there are a lot of scope for the PHP, and many developer forums are available, and many projects also available, and the extendability is very good, and the power is, I have already said, it can be integrated with HTML, it can be integrated with many other database. So there is a more flexibility with that. So, who are new, just who are interested in PHP, I hope you will more continue to study with PHP, because this is a real web application. If you want to get the real interest or real uh, excitement from the web development, so PHP is very much important for that. If you want to play with some logical things and some fancy stuff with the web application, so PHP is the first one I should choose. And before ending today's session, I just want to confirm that no one has any problem. If you have any problem about the session, you can ask here. Okay, before ending, just I want to show something with the CodersTrust. What basically CodersTrust do. CodersTrust basically a Denmark-based company which is working for IT skill development in many countries like Bangladesh, India, Kenya, Bhutan, and Malaysia, and more countries adding day by day. And the main difference between the Coder Trust and with other IT institute, because Coder Trust approach is totally different. They don't just focus on the skill development. They also focus on the uh, learning, how to learning and earning together. That means how will you earn with your skills you have achieved already in the Coder Trust. And if you see some success stories of the student of Coder Trust, you can see here who have already started working in the marketplaces and already started the earning, and they are just doing this the course with the Coder Trust. The course, there are some course outline here. You can see like front end development for 4 months, and with full stack development, that means with PHP MySQL also 7 months. And you can check also the free trial if you want to know how actually Coder Trust work. And also you can get the support from the support team. You can get support about other things like payment issues and how you will take the class from whether you're home or campus, and or whether it is available in your location. So everything you can get details from the support. So I will recommend it to just contact with the support for more details if you have any patient or you are curious to know about the Coder Trust. Well, so this about today's session. I hope we'll see you again in any other session in this week. So still then, take care. Goodbye. Good night.